Yo! Welcome back to the channel. You join me on a very dark and gloomy day. As you can see, I've already got the lights on and it's not even 11 o'clock, I don't think. It's raining. It's been raining for ages. But today we're going to run some CAT6 cable. It's prime time for me to run it as all the ceilings are down. I'm going to run it to every single room in the house. Plus we're going to have access points for Wi-Fi. So let me run you through the cable I bought, why I bought it, and what I would look into if you're going to buy a cable, an Ethernet cable to run in your house. How I'm going to run the cable, how I'm going to clip it all, get it to where I need it to get to, and where I'm going to run all my cables to an Ethernet switch in the cupboard. Let's go! So before I run anything, I thought I'd show you my CAT6 cable. This is a 305 meter, I think it is. 305 meter drum. You can get them in 100 meter. I've gone for 305 meters because, like I say, I'm going to run it to every single room. I've also got to run it up into the loft for 2 cameras, and I'm also eventually I'm going to leave the final run will be put under the floor, because then it'll be there for me to take all the way to my workshop, which will be at the end of the garden eventually when I've finally built it. You can get CAT5 cable still. That does speeds up to 1 gigabits per second. This will do up to 10 gigabits per second. So you can, CAT5 is cheaper and you can still buy it and put it in. But this just future proofs yourself. You can get shielded and unshielded cable as well. Shielded is normally used in like commercial stuff, so unshielded will be fine for a house. If you're looking at doing this yourself and looking at buying CAT6 cable, there's 2 types. There's solid bare copper, I think it is, which is what this is. And there's also copper clad aluminium, I think it's called. Don't get the copper clad aluminium. It's cheaper, but it's not as good as this. And this is only a fraction of the price more, and it's more reliable and give you better performance. Right, so in some of the chases, I've put a single back box, as you can see here. So this will be for the TV. So yeah, you just need a single box for it to run to terminate to, or you can get them where they're just like a brush. So you can bring the wire out and then just put an RJ45 on the end of it and plug it into whatever. But I'm going to put a plate there with a little Ethernet socket, so you can just plug the wire in, and then I'll just have a little extension cable from there into the back of the TV. If your walls are solid like mine, so these have got a cavity, but they're made out of blocks rather than like a dot and dab kind of scenario, I would put them in conduit, because then if any point something goes wrong with that cable, you can easily just pull it back out and feed a new one. Or if you get to the point where you think you need 2 and you want to run another cable at a later date, then again, it's easy just to thread it through the conduit straight into there, rather than having to redo all your plasterwork and that. You also want to think about where you're going to bring everything to. I'm going to bring mine down in here, and I'm going to have an Ethernet switch. If you don't know what an Ethernet switch is, it's basically like it's like an extension for, you know, when you get like a 4-way plug socket and you plug all 4 and it just goes into one. It's kind of like that. You can also get a thing called a power over Ethernet switch. So that's what I will be running. That enables you, so I'm going to have the cameras, like I say, front and back, and also the Wi-Fi access point on the ceilings. Power over Ethernet allows it to be powered through the Ethernet, so you don't, wherever you put it, you don't have to think about trying to get a power supply to it. So it all depends on what you're running them for. If you're just running them to feed like your smart TV or your PlayStation or your computer or anything like that, you don't need power over Ethernet. But if you're thinking about running cameras, like hardwiring cameras, which I'd always advise, because I think it's better if you can do that, or like I say, access points in the ceiling for your Wi-Fi signal, then I would get power over Ethernet, because it's just so much easier. As you can see, ceiling's down, so it's a lot easier for me, but I'm going to run mine just through there, drop it down the ceiling in here. So the light's a bit rubbish, but I'm going to bring them down here, and then I will put a board over this wall, drop them behind, and that's where I'll mount my Ethernet switch and all that lot. I'll have a socket there to take the power, and yeah, it will just be nice and tucked away in this cupboard away, so no one can see it. And then the router, I'm hoping, We haven't had, as you can tell, we haven't had it installed yet, but I'm hoping the router could go just behind that living room door there. So I'll also put an Ethernet point there to take up, and that will be like the master kind of cable, and that will run just to here. That will then power the Ethernet switch. And then, like I say, all the runs will just come through and then go wherever they need to go. I'm going to try and use, so you see like there, that's where pipes used to go. So I'm going to use runs like that rather than drilling more holes into my joists. We had all this old pipes with cables in them. That's what they used to do back in there. And they've got all notches out. So if I need to go through any of them, I mean, they're all redundant now, I'll just cut them out and use that. It's all low voltage, so you don't have to worry. If you do put a screw through it, obviously you wreck your cable, but I will know where everything is anyway. That's how I'm going to run mine. Obviously, if you're thinking about doing this yourself, I would look at, obviously find out which way your joists go, but I'd also look at, like, to get up into another floor, I'd look at your soil stacks. They're a good point. So like where your soil pipe goes up, if you've got boxings in the corner, if you can get to there, it's an easy way to getting up into your second floor or into your loft. So a lot of people run it up your soil stack all the way up into your loft and put your Ethernet switch in the loft and then just drop down into every bedroom really. So yeah, just work out your runs before you go and cut everything out. That's all I'd say. Right, let's start running some cables. I'm going to start with the easiest one. I think I can do the TV that's behind you and the office for my wife, which is that other side of that wall. Just wanted to show you how, so you just break this and then it's on a reel and you just keep pulling it and it just reels off, which is quite easy and handy. You want to be a little bit careful with the cable, not to yank it or catch it on anything, because it is a little bit delicate. Alright, I'll come upstairs to do this run because I'm going to use these cutouts here and run all the way along and then run back to where the TV is. So rather than trying to thread them all through, I'm just going to pull them up and lay them in and then drop them at the final one. So the other thing you want to think about is you don't want this cable to be any closer than about 50 mil. You want it at least 50 mil away from electric cables. So that's why I've decided to run it on this side, because there's no cable here compared to this side. When you get to points like this, it's okay to cross them at 90 degrees. I'd still try and, obviously don't rest it on it, I'd still try and keep it away from it. But yeah, just one thing, try not to run next to, if you're going parallel, you've got to be at least about 50 mil away, I'd say, so you don't get any interference. Now when it comes to clipping it, there are several options. You can just use like normal, you know, with a little nail on that you can just bang in. Or I'm using this Dewalt electrician stapler. So it puts a staple in. So it puts one of these staples in and it's plastic coated. So the metal part of the staple don't pierce the wire. When you're fitting them, you don't want to really squeeze them or anything and damage any of the little cables inside. There is other options. You can get like a clip that you can screw to it, and then it's got like a zip tie. They're good for when you've got like multiple running down the same runs. I would put them along and then just loosely put the cable in and then wait until you've done all your runs and then tighten them up. Also, I don't know if I said, but you don't want like really sharp bends on it because that can damage the cable as well. So you just want to loosely put it where you need it. And this is a bit tight, but there we go. So you see, it don't hold it tight, but it holds it just enough so it won't loop down anywhere, and in that way, if you can see, the plastic just protects the cable from that metal part of the clip. It always makes me laugh how I get stuff in my eye even though I wear glasses. Right, I've clipped what I can for the moment, pulled all the access back, and then I'm going to run that down this void here, down the back of the cupboard. I'm not sure. Come tell me what you think. I don't know whether to maybe just put it up here. So a little board there with the switch and a power point just up there. I mean, the boiler's there. I don't think it will encroach too much. Or do I go with my original plan? I'm having it on this wall. I don't know what to do yet. But what I'll do is I'll cut the cable long enough so it can go to that point, and then I'll decide later on. Let me know in the comments what you think. I've also bought this pack. So if you're making up extension cables, it's got all the socks, I think they're called, for the cables, if you see them. From RJ45, it's got a tester, so you can test your cables to make sure that they work. Cutter, and that point there is what you use to push into the modules that go in the back box. And then I've got a crimper, so you crimp your RJ45s onto the cable at the bottom, and you've got a bit that will strip the cable and cut the cable. So yeah, I got that off Amazon for, I think it's about 20 quid, so not too bad. I'll try and remember and put a link in the description if you want to buy the same one. So these, I open them up, and then the cable goes into there and then just cuts it. Boom. Just hope I didn't cut it too short now. Right, first one done. I'm going to run the one to the access point for the kitchen. I'll put a picture of what I mean by access point if you've never seen one. So it goes in the ceiling and it just extends your Wi-Fi signal, but because it's Ethernet, it's not like a Wi-Fi extender where it has to pick up the Wi-Fi from the router first anyway and then extends it. This one, you know, you could put one right down at the bottom of the garden and it would still work because it gets its internet from the Ethernet. Like I said earlier, I want to put it near this back door somewhere because I don't really want it near the kitchen units or anything like that. So we're going to have the dining table over here, thinking about here, but I don't want it too close to the spotlights either. But that spotlight is going to move. I think we're coming one in closer, so I might put it there in that void there, because I think that will look better. It's hard to like make it look invisible, but I'd rather it not interrupt anything with the down lights. And then you got, yeah, so I think I'll probably put it there, maybe centre of the door. I don't know. That position can be decided once we actually connect it up. Right, I've just come downstairs because this is the run for the access point. And I've got cables on that side and cables on this side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it back one, run it along the face of this joist. And then where it goes over the steel, I don't know if you can just see, but the joists are actually deeper than what the steel is. So I can just run it on top and then pop out this side of the steel and then come, and like I say, this is going to get moved into that one anyway. So I'll come and just leave a bundle here. Right, and then on there. This is precise measuring. This is, you can't get any more precise than this. Right, this one's all done. I've just got to thread it back round there and then down into the cupboard. Before I do that, I've got one of these label makers. So the cartridge that's in this one is a heat shrink, but it will print the label on it. So what I thought I'd do is, once I've run all these cables, well, as I'm running all these cables, I'm going to label it so I know which one it is, and then once I come to actually properly terminate it all and everything, I'll do another one, but just for the time being, so I know which cable goes where, I'm going to label it and then heat shrink it on. Right, so I'm going to put kitchen TV. So I've got kitchen TV. Right, hit print. One copy. Prints out at the top. You just pull that little, and it cuts it off. Kitchen TV. This is the kitchen TV wire. But that just slides on like that. So you can put it about there. And then get a hot air gun. Just gentle heat. Nice and easy. Stuck on there now, and now I won't ever get confused. And like I say, once I cut this and terminate it, I'll do the same thing. So if you ever have a problem with one of them, you can go back to your switch and you know exactly which is the wire. Pretty cool. There we go. Just called this one kitchen access because I didn't really know what else. Yeah, and that's all good to go. Just feed that through there, and then we'll get on to, I've got to do my wife's office, and then I'll get to the living room. Into the bedroom, into the living room now, shall I say. So the TV is going to go on this wall. This will be boarded out, so it's all flush, all the same. TV will probably go centre of that wall. So that is roughly about where that like plastered chase is. So I think I'll bring it through the kitchen, same run that I did for the kitchen, the kitchen ones. Run it through and then back over and then just drop down the wall. I might do two, because we'll have one for the smart TV and then I'll leave one just in case we need something else. Like sometimes my wife likes playing her PS5, so I can just easily plug that in for her. And then if in the future we ever have anything that needs one, it's there. And then over here will be for the master socket, because like I say, router's going there, so I can plug that in and that will feed that. Socket, we're having a double socket down there. How many times can I say socket? Double socket down there. So I'll put the Ethernet point to the left of it, so the socket will come out about 450. So I'm going to put the Ethernet port to the left of that. So I want to come into this run. The only trouble is, this is where all the runs for all the cables back to the consumer unit that's going to go in there. So this one, I'm thinking coming through here. So coming through this one again, and then kind of looping it so it drops up under that cable and then along here, and then I can fit it all the way along there. No, actually, I've had a better idea. Yeah, so I'll loop it to this one, loop it over the cable, and then staple it here, so it's away from the wires, all the way along, all the way along here, and then I'll pass it through where those black pipes are. I'll cut them out, pass it through into this one, and then it can drop down, and then when the electrician comes, all he has to do is these wires here, he can just tack to this side of this joist, and then it keeps everything away. Sweet. Oh, you idiot. You need to run two cables here, Andy, so don't freaking staple them yet. I just find that stapler so fun to use. But I've got to run another cable there before I staple them, so let's get this one in and run the other one. I've got to tell you what, I'm well impressed with this reel in this box. Because I'm upstairs right now and it's just pulling straight out. So much easier, so much quicker. I'm going to leave that one in just because I don't want to damage the cable taking it out. But the good thing about this stapler is it's wide enough that you can staple two. I've done it again. Good job I didn't staple that one because I've got to go over the top of these pipes. What a tit! It's you guys. I blame you guys. You're making me nervous. That's the other thing you want to be careful about is water pipes. So your central heating and your hot water, you don't want them to rest on them. I'm not too worried because, well, I'll staple them anyway, but if they did eventually droop down the hot water and my central heating pipes, I'm going to lag before I put the ceiling up, which I know can be a hot topic of debate, but I still believe it's a good thing to do if you can do it. As I was saying, the good thing about the stapler is you can get two cables in one. Ta-da! Right, that's the two to the living room. I've just got to run the master socket one, which will be quite easy. I'm just going to pull it all the way down there and then staple it up. Like I say, just got to cut this old pipe out that used to take the electric cable. So just going to cut it out with the angle grinder. Don't forget ear protection. Right, I'm not going to clip this cable straight away because I've just thought there's a bedroom above here that we're going to have 2 points on that wall anyway. Let me take you upstairs and I'll show you. Light's a bit rubbish in here because, well, we've got half the kitchen units in here and it's right up to the top. Anyway, we're going to have a CAT6 point here and then we're hoping to put the TV on the wall there. So I want a point behind there as well. And then this one is here just to be on the safe side because we never know what happens in the future, but we might, I don't know, have a PlayStation in here or something. So I thought I'd put that in there now while I can. And like you've seen, this is that cat cable I just ran. So luckily that's in that same void. So I'm going to run another one to there and then I will cut that remainder pipe out, up to the point, and then I haven't obviously cut all the chasers out up here yet to go up to there. So yeah, I'll do that now and then I can clip all three of them at once. Right, so I've cut them out. I've got the cable up there for the TV in the bedroom. Just going to feed it all through into this joist run and then clip it. Right, that's that run done. As you can see, kind of looped it over the cable, so I'm not laying like flat on that cable. And then I've just clipped it all the way along. There will be another cable that goes along, well, another 1, 2, 3, 4 possibly, maybe a bit more. So I'm hoping I'm going to have enough room here. I've just got to be careful when we tack the ceiling that screw don't go wayward, but it's getting all a bit busy around here, to be honest. I'm close to those cables there, closer than I'd like to be really, but like I said, because I've got to have another run there, I can't really do much about it. I could potentially run the other cables, like come across and then run it on this one, which is what I might do actually. That's not a bad shout. And then I can drop them down slightly. I could take that one out and that one and just drop that down so it's a little bit further away from that cable. But yeah, other than that, all those are clipped all the way through, all the way to here. And then this one drops down for the master, and then those two That one goes up there, you see just there, and then that goes around to go for the TV. I think that's all of it done downstairs. So I've just got to go upstairs now to do the two other bedrooms, the access point on the landing, and 2 for the cameras. Oh, and then I've got to put a feed in for the potential workshop at the end of the garden, because I want to have an access point there so I can still use my phone to look up anything, and also I'll probably put a camera either inside or outside or both. Yo, so it's the following day. It's not raining, so it's a little bit lighter in the house, and it helps that I've got ceilings upstairs, so it reflects the light a bit. Anyway, where were we? So that bedroom's done. That's what we just did, well, 10 seconds ago for you, but yes, it was yesterday for me. So that bedroom's done. Both the 2 points are done in there. I've got to do this bedroom, and I forgot when we were downstairs to do this bedroom because that socket is just there, and I should have ran that because this is the wire for the TV one. No, that's the wire for the access point. That's the one for the TV. So I should have run that at the same time. So I've got to quickly do that, and then we've just got to do this bedroom. These points are coming here. I've got to put another stud here. Sockets going this side. I'm going to put the Ethernet this side, and then I'm thinking about using this wall because, like I say, all these walls are all block. So this is the only timber wall up here. So I'm thinking about using this wall, drilling in a hole here and passing the cables all the way up through to feed the cameras in the loft and the access point on this ceiling. Probably going to put it, because that's going, well, I'm going to take all this ceiling down soon anyway. I don't know whether to put it here to cover it or over there. I think it might look better here. It won't look as intrusive. You won't see it much if it's over here, so I might put it there. But yeah, that was my thought of taking it up there, whoom, into the loft. And then I don't know what's best, whether just to run them straight up and not clip them and just leave them in the wall. See, I was thinking I've got some of this timber batten, whether put that stud in. It's going to have a noggin anyway. Put the stud in, cut this down into that gap, and just put a couple across, just so then I can staple the Ethernet cable to it rather than just leaving it dangling. I think that might be better, because otherwise it's always gonna, I mean, it will be stapled. I don't know what's best. I think that will be better. I suppose it don't really matter, does it? I'm just being overly cautious. Anyway, let's get on. Right, put the stud and the noggins in. I did end up putting these battens in because I think if I run the cable, I can just clip it there. Like I say, it's probably overkill. Probably don't really need it, but at least it will hold the cables all the way. It's going to be a door line in here for this bedroom. So I'm going to come with the wires about there to go all the way up to the loft. And then I'll probably drill another hole there just for the 2 wires that will feed the Ethernet port here for this bedroom. I just got to make sure I don't get too close so the little plasterboard fins don't hit this stud. I'm just going to use a 20mm bit. This is a Bosch, Bish Bash Bosch bit. Nice. Going to run the ones on the attic first. All I've done is put the coil of wire just below us and take it up there, because then I can do the bit under the floor back to here. Now it's time to go in the loft. This is the loft. try get over here without falling through the ceiling. Oh, look at that. Just missed the timber that I put in to take the stud work. Right, so, whoa, look at that glow. I don't really have a plan up here yet. I need to put these cables somewhere so they won't get trampled on. I want to try and get over to that timber there so I can run the other side of it up to this timber, run up there, and then I think the electrician wants to run cables on there maybe. So I'll go the other side and I'll run along that way to that corner because that's where the camera's going to be, and then I'll probably do the same run but then go across the wall to there and then down because that corner is where the other camera is going to be, then get over here somewhere to this ceiling, which is actually quite easy because I'll just do the same run but just run along the back of that timber to that point there. That's our end, because we're the end of the terrace, that's the end point. There isn't a neighbour, our neighbour's this side. I don't know whether to put another Ethernet cable down there just in case at any point I want a camera down there. It's not like I need loads of cameras or anything. I mean, the front and back is literally just for security really, and the side, no one can do anything to the side. It's part of the front garden anyway, so there's like a bush down there. So I don't see what the need of having a camera down there, but you know what it's going to be like. If I don't do that, then I'm going to want one, aren't I? I think I'm going to run it just to be on the safe side. Look at me, look. It looks like I'm about to tell you a ghost story or something. Anyway, let's sort some of this mess out so it's a little bit easier to walk on, and then yeah, pull all the cables up. Right, I've just been clearing a little bit, laying the boards down so I can walk better. Just got a bit of conduit because look at the size of those cobwebs. Hopefully that picks it up. It just looks like a monster's done it. I'm just gonna go decobwebbing. Look at all that. That's what, 70, what was it, 1950? So it's 76 years of cobwebs. Oh god, I'm mental. Because starting this corner, so this is the furthest away, the loft hatch is like just behind you, so I'm going to pull as much as this up, and then I'm going to walk around, so I'll go behind everything, like uprights and everything that I want to, and then rather than going across that wall, I think I'm just going to go up the second from last rafter across the top and then back down to that point. And then I'll staple this to the rafter using my new favourite tool. What did you have for lunch today? Oh, I had spiderweb soup. Woo! Right, so that's that one. Yeah. Cobwebs. Right, I'm going to stop there because I want to get the other one up, because that will run along this timber with this one anyway. Right, I am done in the loft. Let me show you how it looks. I didn't record most of it because it's basically what I've been doing everywhere else, and it's just a bit difficult in here trying to get the camera everywhere. But let me show you how it looks. So that's where it comes up, comes around, comes to this side of this timber, and then I've just clipped it all the way along. Then those three go up there. That one just carries on along there because that will be the access point, and I'm not, like I say, I'm not too sure where that's going yet. And then as they come up there, they just split off. So like you've seen, those two go over to do the front and back cameras, and then this one comes along here just in case I want to put a camera or anything down in that corner. I know I probably could have just ran all of them along this timber that way and this way rather than going up, and then around. I just feel like it's safer for them if, as much as I can, get it above the floor. Because eventually I'm going to be putting all the insulation, like these rolls that you can see all around there. I'm going to be putting all them on the ceiling to insulate it, and then building a floor over the top. So I know they're there, but if I can get them out of the way, the less likelihood it's going to I'm going to catch it with anything. So yeah, all I've got to do now is sort the mess out downstairs, and this is how it looks running through the wall. Quite nice and neat. So yeah, I've just got to run 2 to that point for the point in the bedroom, and then sort all the mess out underneath, and then get it back to that cupboard. So plan is, I'm just taking those floorboards up because there's a little notch there where the heating pipes used to come through from the back boiler that was in the chimney. So I'm going to use that, come round. This cable here will get clipped, I imagine the same as what it is there. So I'm going to come out, loop over, and then run along the bottom of this. There's a bolt in the way there, but we'll get around that. Over to here, and then loop over the top of these to follow these across there. Okay, so it's another day. I didn't get as much done as I wanted to last time I was here because I had to shoot off. But I think I've only got this one run to our bedroom. And then I'm going to go around and sort out all the cables, zip tie them where they're going through those joists over there. And I think then we're there. I've just got to sort out over there where it goes through the cupboard and make sure they're all going down where I need them to be. I've also decided it's definitely going on this wall over here. Electrician's been throughout the week as well and put cable in for the socket. So that's all cool. He's clipped all those cables up here. Quite neat, nice, neat job. So that's all done. Yeah, just need to make sure everything's all nice and organised. Also, I've put, I don't know if you see, this is the mic. I've put like the wind protector on because I noticed I've been editing the video throughout the week, and I noticed that you can hear me breathing a lot, and I didn't really like how it's picking that up. So I've tried this. If this isn't working, then I'll have to try and find the settings or something. But yeah, sorry about that if it annoyed you. Now that's all the cables done, I'm just going to go around and neaten up all these where they come through the joist. I've got these are what I was on about earlier. They're like little bases. And you put a cable tie through it, so it just goes through like that. These are sticky, but I'm going to put a little screw in just to hold them because I don't think it's going to stick very well. But yeah, I'm just going to go around neaten these up a little bit. The reason I've used the zip ties on those ones is because I can't get the stapler in, but obviously as you can see I can get it in this one, and I put that in when I thought there were the only 2 runs coming along here. But then obviously I ran another 3 cables, so I'm going to see if I can pull this out and then see if I can get all those bunched and then clip them there and then just try and take them away. I'm working my way back towards the cupboard, so any access I can just keep pulling around just to try and get it nice and neat. That was a bit more aggro than I wanted it to be, but last bit is just to get these cables to sit nice in these joists. Right, I think we're all done. Let me just show you how everything looks before I cover it up, and let me know what you think. So these are all nice and neat, and then where these two go off to the living room, I've just cable tied that so it don't droop. They've got the what's-its on, they've got the clips on, and then down here I ended up screwing a bit of batten to one of the floorboards underneath, and then putting a clip and cable tie there, just so it don't drop down onto these pipes. Like you can see, I've started lagging them anyway, so I'm not too fussed. That one will be lagged, and then that's got a loop over so it don't touch that electric cable. These all go along all nice and neat along there in those chases. I ended up putting the clips on the side of the joist because those notches didn't have enough room to get the clip in and then all the cables, because I think I've got something like 17 cables or something crazy. And then yeah, they just all go down, and at the moment they're just here. I just got to work out where I'm going to go. That it's going to go somewhere like that, so I might chop some of this out. All this plaster on this is coming off anyway, and then we're going to plasterboard it, so that will be at a later date. That is it though, we are all done. All CAT6 cable ran everywhere I need to, so when I come to terminate them all and put the face plates on them and all that lot in a later video, I'll show you how you test them all just with that little tester in that kit. I'll leave all the links to everything I've used down below. Thanks again for watching. Hopefully you've learned something or enjoyed the video, because this is a long one. This is definitely the longest video I've made so far. Hopefully it's all been entertaining and you've enjoyed yourself, and I will see you in the next one.